Hello, Taylor. Thank you for your time today. I really appreciate it because for the audience, Taylor extra drove somewhere else. Don't mention where, I don't want to know, but he drove from the countryside to where he is now, wherever this is. That we have a good connection. So I'm really appreciate that because I had this a couple of times that I had a bad connection. I just told Taylor the worst connection I ever had was with a band in Germany. So he's in Canada. So anyway, Taylor, can you please introduce yourself and tell the audience who you are, what your band is about, and what kind of music you make, and maybe if you want a little bit about your personal musical background, where you're coming from, what you grew up to, what kind of was your influence to start the band and start singing?
Okay, I'm Taylor Leaf, lead singer of Sierra Pilot. We're a rock band from Ontario, Canada. We've been together for about, the project's been been around for about 4 years, but active for 3. Influences. I really, a lot of Canadian hard rock bands. 3 Days Grace, Big Wreck. Don't tell anybody but Nickelback. I'm kidding. I love them. They're my guilty pleasure.
That's fine. That's fine.
There's a lot. There's really so much to too many names. 9 Inch Nails. I love 9 Inch Nails.
Cool.
Love Radiohead from the UK. Yeah.
Okay. The question was also.
We actually.
Yep. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
If you guys want to listen to some stuff, we just released a cover of a Miley Cyrus song, a hard rock cover of Miley Cyrus song, Midnight Sky. It was released last week, the 18th. Let's check that out. That's brand new.
Yeah, and there's even a video for it, right? I saw a video for it.
No, that was for a Billie Eilish cover.
Yeah, with a crown, what was it? With a crown. You should see me with a crown. That's a cool one too. I liked the, you had a nice location, with where the dead bodies go. So
it's actually a movie set. It was a really fun day. I think they have like 80 to 90 different movie sets in this building, this factory building. Everything from a jail cell, the morgue where I was in, there was the Oval Office, like the White House, like
cool.
Everybody's worst nightmare would be me at the driver's seat. It's a really cool place. Yeah. Got very claustrophobic in that box.
Yeah, I can imagine. See, that's good that you say it because I was kind of like, in a way, I mean, it was clear what it is, but I could see that it was kind of condensed to just this little thing. There was the whole around was kind of missing because it was a film set. So now I get it because I was like, is it a real location? This is quite cool, but yeah, you faked it, but it's good. It's a good thing. My question was actually aimed a little bit about you as well. So I mean. What made you to the singer? I mean, what made you make this band? No, not make this band. Why did you start with a band? Where are you coming from? What is your roots? Did you start with a punk band as you were in school and like rawr, and then you kind of found some friends and you started Sierra Pilot?
Yeah, musically I've been all over the map. I've been writing music since I was 13.
Mm-hmm.
I did the whole starting bands in high school. I was in a screamo band, hardcore band for the longest time in high school. Actually, 3 hardcore bands. And then out of yeah, and one of our bands, we changed names almost every week because we couldn't make up our minds.
Okay, yeah, just make it easy for the people to find you. I get it. You're playing exactly. hard to get.
Yes. And then out of high school, that all kind of stopped. Unfortunately, like I still listen to metal, but it's I wanted to go somewhere else differently. I wanted to go somewhere differently artistically because I was starting to screw up my voice with screaming. So I decided to do the popular thing and actually sing. You know,
it's good.
It's easier on your voice.
Yeah, and also
At least I wasn't doing it right though.
pardon me, what?
Oh no, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No,
Go ahead.
you say okay. No, what I wanted to say is, um, okay, this is just me personally. I understand, of course, and I know that this is kind of a way, a singing style, you know, the screamo and but I also think often it's the easy way out if you cannot sing. And that's the cool thing with you because you can really sing and you have a really nice voice. And so I kind of, would say you would have wasted your talent if you would have not switched to normal singing because it's kind of like when you scream, basically I know there's techniques and whatever, but basically everyone can do it, you know. And I get it when you're a young kid in high school. Yeah, you want to, you know, against the world and whatever. It's fine, you know. We all been there and done that. But I'm very happy that you changed to normal singing because then you can really gauge is it the right word? When you can really see if somebody can sing or not, you know, because with the screamo thing, everyone can do it basically. I know it's not that easy, don't get me wrong. If I have the same issue with death metal growls and stuff. I don't like it, but that's me. Okay, sorry, we're talking about you, but this is quite personal. I'm happy that you're singing.
No, we're talking about you.
No, you have a very nice voice, so I'm really happy that you got there.
Thank you. Yeah, me too.
One really stupid question, and I told you beforehand this should not be like an interview, and this is a really stupid interview question. But as we kind of introduce you here, how would you describe the style of Sierra Pilot? What is it? You already mentioned a few influences you have, but what kind of music you're doing? Even if I know it's hard, and I don't want you to be.
It's definitely hard rock. It's the way I would describe it is if you took 90s grunge music and added synthesizers and made it a little more modern, right? So we have more modern tricks to it and in the production, and it's just it's refined 90s grunge, which is really interesting because 90s grunge was never really refined, you know? That was kind of what made grunge.
Yeah.
But we pull out we pull a lot of influences out of everywhere. Like I had one song that was on our second EP called Catch Me. And that song was actually a reference we used was Chance the Rapper. He's one of my favorite rappers. And he has like this R&B style of voice, and like I love him. He's great. And but then we also have a bunch of country crossover songs like hard country rock and kind of bluesier stuff, so we're kind of all over the map. But hard rock, if you like hard rock and you like 90s stuff, hopefully you'll like us.
Yeah, and I found you, let me just pull up your thing here. I found you with Bulletproof. This was the one I kind of took notice of you, and this is a very, I was thinking a little bit like Arcade Fire, you know, a very stadium rock thing, you know. It's kind of
Canadian band. Nice.
I mean,
Canadian band, nice.
yeah, exactly. I was like, oh man, they're from Canada. That might be influenced here, because this is really like I can imagine. You know, I mean, we will talk about this a little bit later, but I could imagine you filling a stadium with this, and you know, this is a crowd pleaser. This is kind of you know, a feel good. I don't know. It's just so full, so epic. And so I was like, wow, this is really big production. Oh, let's maybe talk about this. The production values are really good. So,
Thank you.
yeah, you're welcome.
I'm not the producer though, but thank you. Yeah.
Exactly. This is my question. Who's helping you here? Because this seems very professional.
Yes. My producer's name is Ian Alexander Smith. He has worked with a lot of people. He's probably going to hate that I'm talking about him right now because he likes
Oh,
to be a behind the scenes guy.
I see.
He's no, it's fine though. He deserves a lot more attention than he lets himself have. So he's amazing. He's been doing it for a long time. I don't know exactly how long, but he's incredible. He's worked for Sony, EMI, Capitol Records. He's been all over the place.
Hmm.
Worked a lot in Spain, uh, United Kingdom. He's been everywhere.
Okay.
So just learning from everybody, and he's just he's in my mind he is one of the number one producers in Canada.
Okay. And
And
how did you manage to get to him? Because I think, if he's so much in demand, it's good for you. I mean, I can clearly hear that, it's really well done. But how did you get to him? That's a good question.
so
If you can tell, if you
yeah,
don't want to talk about it, then don't talk about it. So I don't
no,
want
no,
to.
no, no. I can tell the story. It's a good story. He so it would have to go back. So we'd have to go back to me saying that after high school, once I got out of my metal phase, I started a band called Relic City.
Hmm.
I was the lead singer of a band called Relic City, and Relic City was more of a transition band for me. We lasted maybe 2 to 3 years, but it was a transition period in my musical
Journey.
aspirations and
Hmm.
stuff, right? Journey. Um, but then when that band uh, split, we disbanded. My bassist was like, so I've just set up my old bassist is very connected in the local music scene here, and he said I'm gonna set up a meeting for you with Ian Smith, and but don't get your hopes up.
Hmm.
I want this to be a learning experience instead of a like you're gonna end up working with him. Don't get your hopes up. He's a big deal. And I just show up, knock on Ian's door one day, and just I don't know why I bought a binder or something for notes. I don't know. I didn't look. It didn't look very.
You
Didn't
brought your
look very rock
CV.
and roll. Yeah, and some 20-year-old kid cocky kid trying to get a deal with a big time producer. It was we chatted for maybe a couple hours, and then he said, "Okay, I'll give you a shot. We'll do one track." And then we wrote. In one day, we wrote the song "What You Came For," which is the first track off the second EP.
Okay.
And then we knew we had something, and then we just couldn't stop writing. And now we're about 30 songs in total.
Okay. So maybe let's stay here because so you are writing the music with your producer.
Yes,
Ah.
me and
Okay.
me and my producer are songwriters. We're the main songwriters. We have collaborated with other people um, from different bands.
Mm-hmm.
Like we did a the song "When the Night Is Over" on that second EP that has a bunch of big Toronto artists in it, like Neil from 3 Days Grace, the drummer from 3 Days Grace, is on that track, and so we have collaborated. And then I'll have Jason, my drummer, come in and do drums. We'll program out the drums, but I'm very old fashioned in a sense that I I want to hear a drummer actually play it. I don't want to
Yeah.
hear some dude poking at a
Mm-hmm.
keyboard. There's you need that human vibe when it comes to drums. And then I can hold my own on the guitar, but I'm nowhere near as good as Jay, my lead guitar player. He's a shredder. He's so good. So I'll have him come in and cut solos and stuff. But when it comes down to the actual song writing, it is me and Ian most of the
Okay,
time.
okay, okay.
90%
This
of the
is
time.
so you both get together, like you have an idea for, I don't know, I have this in mind, you know, or I wrote some lyrics, and then you kind of start from there. So how do you create a song?
Well, it usually starts with whiskey, and then we work
Okay.
our way forward. Uh, it we both have this kind of tendency to just make weird instrumentals. Mostly Ian, like he'll make a bunch of weird loops, and then when it comes time for us to start writing a song, he'll put on one of these random loops, and then I'll start humming something, and
Hmm.
he'll come up with a lyric, sing this, and then he'll start humming something. Oh, here's another lyric, and it just kind of builds, and then we're like, oh, we have a song now,
Okay.
and have something here. So the songwriting process isn't necessarily your standard. I'm gonna sit down and write a song.
Hmm.
It's I'm gonna play this and let's just see what happens. Because if it doesn't come naturally, you're just gonna end up writing a song that you don't end up liking
Hmm.
half the time. Because artists and writers, we overthink everything when it comes to our music, and
Yeah.
if it doesn't come naturally, it's not gonna.
I'm absolutely with you. It's kind of, and it sounds like, I mean, I have to admit, you are the first one who writes music like this, but this is, you know, very unique and very interesting. And like you said, it's organic. It's growing on its own. You have a bass or like yeah, a bass for the song, and then and then it kind of you know, you add things until you got it, and then I guess you also chisel away things when you overdo things, because this is usually the trouble that maybe you can talk about this for a moment. The issue usually is, when is a song finished? You know, because I mean, I get your approach now. You have this organic build-up, and then but you always can build in more or take things out, or you know, put in a bridge, or you know, another chorus. How do you
Yeah,
get to the point that you say, and just that, you know, I know it's always work in progress. It's never. It's like a snapshot of this moment in time, that it's, you know, you freeze what you have at this moment, and then it is the song. But you still have to come to this point. You know,
yeah.
how do you get to this point that you say, okay, that's it. That's the best we can do with it. Let's keep it.
I have a very simple answer for that, and it's when
Oh,
the producer tells me I'm done.
okay. It was
because
I
I
see.
because I can't turn it off. Like
Mhm.
Ian constantly gets annoyed with me because I constantly just come up with, well, what if we put this in here? And then he's like,
Mhm.
Taylor, we have something there. What are you doing?
Mhm.
Like my mind, I'm pretty ADHD, um,
Okay.
or I'm always going right, and I don't usually ever figure out how to put the brakes on.
Okay.
And
So
I'll
I
put
get it. It's
yeah
actually
I'll,
quite, so you're having quite the tandem here then, because otherwise, in a way, and don't get it wrong, you would never finish anything, because it's kind of, you could go on and on and on. And like you know, I talk with a lot of artists, and a lot of people have this issue. You know, it's kind of like, oh, and then I need to lay it for 2 months, because then I want to see if it still is good and fresh, and okay, so it's you have a very fruitful collaboration here. It seems that he kind of says, okay, stop now. I have enough. It's just getting worse if you put in more layered vocals or whatever you come up with, or something. So this also answers one of the questions I usually have is, how do you decide that it is good, you know, good enough? Because just building a song is one thing, you know, and it's also, you know, everyone, well, not everyone, but a lot of musicians dabble around, and you know, oh, da 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 da, and then and you like it in the moment, but will it hold up for a long run? You see what I mean? It's kind of you're kind of in the oh yeah 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 yeah, and then you listen to it 3 days later, and it's like okay, well, yeah,
Yeah.
I was a little bit drunk back then, and so you have kind of your breaks in it, and also your quality assurance. So you're quite lucky.
Yeah, I'd say it's more. There's definitely a sense that every time we come up with a new idea, it's always exciting because it's a song we haven't done yet, right? Like we hold on to our songs. We've been working on a full-length album now. It's going to be releasing in the summer, but it's been 2 years in the making. So we've been sitting on songs for the longest time, and now, don't get me wrong. I don't write music that I don't like to listen to. People might think this is cocky, but I listen to myself sometimes. It just happens. I get in a mood where I just.
I think
that, right?
I think it's very important because I mean we're going to talk about this later, because if you're not behind your music, how can you really represent it? You know,
How are you doing it?
Exactly. Then it's kind of like, I mean, then it becomes. I get it. You know, there's musicians who it's just a job and they play exactly the notes you give them, and you know, and then it's fine, it's good, but it's not. Anyway, I'm with you. I'm just saying, you know, because it's like if you don't feel it, how can you express it, and how can the audience take you seriously? Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
And but once you get that initial excitement at the beginning, there is a period. There's lots of times where 3 days later, I kind of second guess it and go, oh, well, this isn't what I thought it was going to be. But then to me, that just means, okay, so it's missing something. Add the next thing, add the next thing. Oh, go back, change that part. It's like if you have an initial good idea that you are excited about, you have a song there. It's just like it's digging up fossils or like digging something out of the dirt. You got to brush some crap away. You got to add some stuff. It's, yeah. Yeah, so it's, I don't know, it's a weird career like path to choose, because there's so many endless things that you can do, and so it's just a weird thing to sit down and write a song. I feel like it's one of the most vulnerable people can be, is in that state when you are writing a song, and you're gonna have a lot of different like circulating emotions around it, and the way you feel about it. But that's kind of the beauty of it. Writing a song is like being in a relationship. You like it, honeymoon phase.
Oh yeah, okay. In this regard, because I was like, okay.
Yeah, maybe that was a bit of a stretch, but
yeah, no, because I'm married for 10 years now, so it's kind of like I was like, what?
Good for you. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, I'm happy. You know, it's fine. It's just like, okay, you now when you describe it with a honeymoon phase, and you know it's over now. But I'm very happy that you know now it's in the harmonic phase. But anyway, we're not talking about me. We're talking about. I just wanted to clarify what you mean with in a relationship, because yeah. No, I get it, and I also like what you just said, because this is what I alluded to earlier. When the cool thing is with the music, first of all, you really need to feel it, and it needs to be your own. You know, your thing. You pour out your heart. But this is also, like you said, it makes you very vulnerable. It's kind of one. You know, in my past, I was acting, and when I do a theater play, it's fine, because when I have a role and I'm shielded by it. But if you do music and you put in your own lyrics and your own soul, it makes you, you know, you open your heart to the public and they can stab at it. It's really, really, yeah, it's dangerous. But if you don't do it, sorry, I'm having a lot of words to get to where I want to go. But if you, pardon me?
I do the same thing.
Yeah.
No judgment here.
But if you don't do it, you know, then it's kind of, it's not dishonest, you know, but it's kind of like it will feel flat and empty. Then it's just like, oh, sunshine, 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 and you know, it's kind of, pop music or whatever. I mean, it has no depth. That's my point I want to make, you know? So I completely understand you. You have to kind of open up yourself a little bit, and
Mhm.
this opens you up for hurtful things and but if you don't do it, it will be just like, oh yeah, you know, yeah, 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 you know, kind of like
Yeah,
it's a flat song, just because the lyrics are not heartfelt. Let's put it this way.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Um, so I was thinking, as you know, we talked now about how you create music, and it's very unique. You're the first one, you know, as a first of a kind. I heard about this. Um, so how do you set yourself boundaries of what kind of music you're making, or okay, yeah. So you already answered it.
No. I think if you do that, you're gonna set yourself up to write the same song over and over again.
Okay.
Um, we don't. I don't go into the studio, and I don't, or me and Ian don't go into writing a song. This is a rock band. We're gonna write a rock song.
Mm-hmm.
That's, I think, how a lot of bands get stumped. And it's we take, like I said before, we take inspiration. I take inspiration from rappers, pop, R&B, uh, country.
Mm-hmm.
It's and I think if you lend your or learn how to write these songs and then put it into a like translate it into the sound that you actually want it to be, that's how I would describe Sierra Pilot. We have a sound. It's a rock sound, but it's Sierra Pilot. So we take all these other genres and
Mm-hmm.
then turn it into a Sierra Pilot song.
You make your
So and
unique
like
mix.
genres are, I think, are there's not going to be any main genres in music anymore because I think it's getting boring for people. So
Mm-hmm.
starting to morph. Everything's starting to morph and turn.
Mm-hmm.
You got country rap, got
Mm-hmm.
punk rap, punk rap. Now there's just so much. It's evolving and it's evolving very quickly.
Mm-hmm. I
Um,
learned
so
the word genre fluid, you know, because it's kind of, it's all in a flow state. It's wherever it's, and you know, I'm agree with you. I like that, that there's no so harsh boundaries anymore. On the other side, as I'm also a radio DJ, this is sometimes not easy, because as much as I hate categories and genres and, you know, labels to put on things, I need them, because if otherwise, you know, in which situation we are living at the moment, not at the around now, that everyone can make music, and that's a great thing. You know, on your iPhone, you can put together a song and send it out, and it will be on Spotify. It's great, but not everyone has the same ability to make good music. Let's put it this way. I mean, it's always in the ear of a beholder, of course, you know, and I don't want to judge. And it's cool that everyone can do it. But when I'm just giving you my side as a DJ, I need a little bit a barrier that not everyone kind of, you know.
yeah.
So um,
So, and I think when bands have, as long as you don't set boundaries, or writers rather, not bands, but writers, I think if you set boundaries on your influences, then you're not. I think you're going to get stuck more
mhm,
often than not. And but as long as if you are in a project and you have a certain style, like my main genre I love to listen to is rock.
mhm,
That's what I do. So if you can find a way, you know, like help write these other genres, and then sorry, I'm like drawing on my table here because I need to visualize stuff. Um, and then you bring it back to rock, then I think you're gonna get a song that doesn't sound the same. Like it's not the same one you wrote last week because that you referenced a country song. Now you're gonna do an R&B song,
mhm.
and at a point in time where everything's already been done,
Yep.
so it's just a matter of it's just a matter of maybe doing the same thing, but just making it you or bringing in
Hmm.
your influences. Not the same thing. Don't rip people off. You know what I mean, though, right? Like,
Hmm.
you know,
No, no, I got it. And you already said it. Basically, you have found your Sierra Pilot style, and then it doesn't really
Mhm.
matter what is the groundwork of a song. It can be country, it can be rap, it can be whatever, but you make it your own, and that's the most important thing. This is, it doesn't matter which song I start on Spotify, I will hear, oh yeah, this is Sierra Pilot, and that's the trademark
that's
thing.
all you need.
Pardon me?
That's all you need.
Hmm. Exactly. So when you cannot go wrong, and it also, it frees you up a lot, because even if I told you, that I need sometimes some categories and some genres, I also know, of course, as a musician, it's the great stuff that you can kind of, you can run in every direction, and it's not
Yeah.
wrong. It's like, in music there is no right or wrong. It's just if you like it or you don't like it, and if you like it, most likely other people will like it too. And this is also not. Maybe let's talk about this. Uh, I need to phrase it nicely, and don't get me be mad at me, but I think you are not living from the music yet, right?
Sorry. Can
uh,
you?
you're not, the main income source is not music for you.
No, no,
Okay,
not yet.
okay.
I'm trying to make that happen. Well,
Hmm.
I wouldn't get angry at that. There's plenty of amazing talent all over the world that aren't making a living off of it, right? So right now I'm learning how to use Pro Tools and not record, but I want to go into sound engineering in the
Hmm.
studio and stuff. I think that's a much more um, reliable way to make music in this industry, or wow, to make money in this
Hmm.
industry. Um, um, all I know is that I want to make money off music. I just don't know where that is going to be at. I want it to be as an artist. It's my
Hmm.
number one
Hmm.
dream, and I think, um, but it's getting to the like it gets difficult, right? Because um, I need a day job to, or I need some kind of funding to.
Hmm.
It's not. It's if you want to do right, you need the financial support. Oh
Hmm.
no, you don't need it, but like making a record's hard. Making or is expensive. Making
And
unless you learn how to do it yourself, but then you're
videos are
buying.
expensive too, and you did some great videos as well. They're also very expensive.
Yeah, so it's I hope one day, but it's not at that point yet,
Hmm.
unfortunately.
No, no, and
There,
see, sorry, go ahead.
there is a lot of chat. There is a lot of chat of bigger things going on that um I'm gonna say no more about, but like
Okay, yeah, no, I'm not going to
I'm at a
push.
point.
Hmm.
No, and I think I'm at right at the cusp of where it's either gonna go somewhere and I'm gonna start making money,
Hmm.
or I gotta start like we're right at the brim.
Hmm.
So we gotta yeah we got some
Okay, sorry, I'm not
things to
gonna
do in the
I'm
next
not
couple
gonna
of
push any further. I just wanted to know a little bit, because it also, and I guess you see it the same, gives you the freedom to do exactly what you want, because you don't have to answer to a label or to a higher authority, and kind of like, um, be- even if um, how do I like your music, and I think it has great potential. Like I said, for me, this is stadium rock. This is kind of what you would need in a stadium, like like I said, Arcade Fire, or how's there's this one stadium band from UK. I don't know the name yet. Anyway, so you have this big sound, and this is really really cool. This is for masses, um, and um, but on the other hand, having not a label or having nobody, who expect anything makes it easier for you because you don't have to fulfill any kind of expectations that might be there. I mean, not saying that you piss off your fans or something, or so, but you don't have to. To make so much fan service. I don't know. I guess you get my point. You still can be free in what you're doing. You found your sound, and you, let's do a little bit more rap, and let's do it a little bit, and you can try out things, and this is the fun of it. And as long as you keep the fun of it, people will get drawn to this. This is my thing. Don't sell out to just kind of doing it for some imaginary masses you want to appeal to. Do it because you love it, and then you will appeal to the right people who love you for the right reasons. That's basically
Right.
what I'm thinking.
Yeah. I mean, the creative freedom is definitely nice,
Hmm.
especially with somebody like me who's switching styles every 5 seconds. Um, it's that is really nice, but it would also be really nice to have the extra help to
Hmm.
eventually have an income,
Hmm.
right? So, yeah, it's very weird. I think for the longest time, their labels were kind of a monster, like a big monster in the industry because you know you heard horror stories about them, but I think they're really starting to clean up their um, the way they do business.
Hmm.
Maybe not all of them, but I know a few that are like the artists love them, and they're giving out better deals, and I
Hmm.
don't think hating on labels is. I think it's a waste of time because I think they do a lot of. I think they do a lot for artists when it comes down to it.
Hmm. No,
Now
I'm
they
I'm
they
I'm
also have a lot of power to not part.
exactly, and I I'm not hating on labels. I had a run in with a few, and there's such and such, and but also I completely agree. I talked with a few bands who are on Cleopatra Records, and they kind of diversify quite a lot because they kind of check what the artist needs, and so you have a special package basically for you. It's some artists just want
Yeah,
digital promotion, so they only get this, and they are with Cleopatra Records, but they are just getting the digital package, and some others want really the whole thing with booking and all the other stuff. So we get, and so I'm with you. They have to adapt as well. Um,
yes.
Maybe let's stay here at this moment because one thing is we already established how you create music and how it appears, and you were fortunate enough. We have to talk about this, unfortunately now, but that you founded your band before this stupid pandemic hit.
Yeah.
So did you, how did you manage to get this live? Because as I understand you now, it's what's his name, Ian Alexander Smith and you, but Ian is not on stage. I take it. So you have your friends doing it live. Can you say how? First, okay, two questions. Have you played live, and how did you do it?
Yes, we've played live. We played probably close to in the 2 year span. We probably played maybe 60 shows plus.
Oh, wow, that's
Um,
that's a lot.
um, but and it's killing us right now that we can't be doing that. Um, we absolutely love it, but I'm sorry, I've forgotten the what was the rest of the
No,
question.
no. Also, one question you have already answered. Have you played live? And the other one is, how do you do it? So they have to learn it, or can they make it their own? Because they are musicians as well, and
I
you kind of.
I give them I give
Mm,
them a little bit more freedom around because I don't want it to sound like I don't want Jay's guitar playing to sound like I wrote the part. I want
mhm,
him to do his own thing. Definitely goes into makes it his own. You know, Jason will do his own kind of fills instead of what I initially put on the like the backing track.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so and then we hire bassists here and there. We can't really seem to stick to one
Mm-hmm.
because me, Jay, and Jason all have really good chemistry, but the bassists come and go.
But by the way, I'm
uh,
I'm a bass player as well. So, but I know what you mean. It's sometimes it's not easy to yeah, and I'm completely with you. The chemistry needs to work, especially with if you tour with them and even if it's a good bassist, I would rather kick him out if he doesn't fit into the in the social way with it, because you have to spend a lot of time with these people on the road and going somewhere, or waiting for your gig. So I'm with you, and for some reason I have to agree. Basses are not the easiest for some. Yeah, I mean, guitar players.
You know what it is? It's like whether it's chemistry or not, we've seemed to lose bassists simply because they're in such high demand.
Mhm,
They're in a good bassist is in such high demand. It's just like a drummer,
mhm. Oh yeah, yeah.
like
Drummer even more than basses, I think.
and more, right? Like it's there's quite a big difference between a guy who actually knows how to play drums and the guy who just freaking bashed on drums while he grew up in high school and then I can play drums.
Hmm, hmm.
It's and the biggest panic I don't usually ever panic with bass players leaving the band because I've gotten used to it and um, B like it's easy to find it's easy to find a good bass player. It's not easy to find a great bass player.
Hmm.
And we don't have a very bass. We use a lot of subs in our songs, sub
Hmm.
bass and bass. So we don't need like some crazy bassist who can slap and
Hmm.
do all these crazy fills and so. But my biggest freak out moment in the band was Jason was our original drummer.
Hmm.
Um, and then he ended up going to college or university for business and quit the band, left the band. I was panicking.
Hmm.
Then we found a guy named Spencer Heaslip. He goes by the name Taboo. Now he's a phenomenal drummer, but he's a rap producer now, and he's the
Hmm.
best human ever. And we absolutely, like he greatest guy ever, right? And we were but then he played our first show with us, and then after that, it was his first show with us, but it was his last show with us because he had to go to
Okay.
a production thing,
He's too busy.
and that's why he's too busy, right? And he's actually making money. He's making an
Hmm.
income off it now, and he's doing really well. He's very talented guy. But then so he left, and in a panic, I called Jason, like almost shaky and nervous, right? Like, dude, you need to come back. You need to
Hmm.
come back. We can't be like there's not a lot, especially where I'm at. Like most of the good musicians in my area they wouldn't fit the image. They're incredible players, but there's just so much to putting into a band, right? And so I knew as soon as Spencer left, I was like, okay, I need to get Jason back. And he gave it some thought, and I panicked for about 2 weeks. And but now he's back, and he's been with us again for about 2 years now.
Hmm.
So it's good stuff. It's good
Yeah.
stuff. But yeah, drummers, man. If you bands ever lose their drummer, it's at least at the level where I'm at, it's a pretty big panic because you're not sure if you're going to be able to find a good guy.
Yeah. A drummer is,
So
is something. I mean, everyone is important, of course. I don't want to downplay things, but yeah, if you don't have the drummer is the basis. If you don't have a good rhythm section, and um, yeah, everything falls apart, because yeah, if you don't, you build the house, and if a basement is not there, you can build as much as you want, everything will fall flat. So anyway, so maybe why we are at this subject. This is just a fun question. Was there anything funny happening as you were on the road or on stage? You know, some mishaps, some funny things. PG-13, please. What happened on stage, off stage? Okay, I mean, you can be
Uh,
XXX if you want, but
I'm not even sure I want other people to know what we do on the road. It's it's a rock band. Of course, stuff happens.
mhm.
Um, I don't really, I can't really think of anything specific because usually after a show, it'd be party time, and I black out. To be honest, I'm
Yeah,
gone.
this is
So,
really rock star like. I see. Okay, got it.
but I mean, it's a lot of the same stuff every time. You get back to the hotel room, you drink for a little, and then you go back out, and then whatever happens, happens.
Hmm.
The rest is rock and roll. You don't know. You don't know what it's gonna be.
Okay, okay,
So, I so sadly, I don't have a funny story that I could necessarily tell, but maybe
okay,
one day, maybe next time we do this.
okay. No problem. But as we are on the subject, was there any, as you played, see, you said you played 60 shows. Were there any moment where you got like a starstruck moment that you shared the stage with somebody where you like, oh man, this is a really, you said you were influenced by a lot of bands from Ontario. So was there any time where you were like, oh man, I'm gonna play with these guys, and you had a little fanboy moment?
Yeah, for sure. We actually the last we got the chance to open for Buckcherry. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Buckcherry.
No, I will check it.
No,
No,
you'll look up Buckcherry later. You'll know
I'm
them.
write it down.
Actually, they actually have a pretty big fan base in Germany, as I believe. Man, I want to come play shows in Germany so bad. You guys have such a good rock scene.
Yeah, that's. I mean, we would love you. This is. I can't wait that the world unpauses. It's kind of really like I tell you. Yeah, okay. I don't want to talk so much about it, but last week I was so fed up with the whole situation. I tell you, because I'm doing also home office, and the schools were closed. I'm doing homeschooling, and it was like every day felt the same. I was even, kind of, is today Wednesday or Thursday? I got the days wrong because
Yeah.
they were bleeding in it together. Everything was the same. You cannot go to the gym. You cannot do this and that. I'm so sorry. Okay, let's stop this. I want to keep it positive, but yeah, no, I'm absolutely with you. You belong on stage. This is, I mean, a rock band who's not playing. But let's stay on the subject and maybe turn it to something more, maybe positive. Did you do any live stream events or something like that?
No, we've kind of played around with the idea. I think we're gonna do it for when we launch our album, so we can have some kind of CD release thing.
Hmm.
But we're waiting on the vaccines now because
Hmm.
once the only way for concerts to go back up is if people get vaccinated, right? You need your proof of vaccination and
Hmm.
whatever that. I don't know if they're gonna give you a passport or it's like a credit card. I don't know. But uh, it's so it's a lot of waiting around. So hopefully by Canada's hopefully going to be back to normal by the fall.
Hmm.
That's best case scenario. Best case scenario, if
Yeah,
this
yeah.
thing doesn't hopefully stop mutating. But anyway, we're gonna stop talking about that. But so yeah, we're gonna do a live stream, um, probably around when the album drops. I want to do it in the summer because it seems like a really good time to drop music, especially a rock album when
Hmm.
people are out having fun and stuff, right? So, um, but we were actually going to release the album last fall,
Hmm.
and it's kind of like, what's the point? We can't go play shows. We can't really promote much other than being online, right? So that's when we got the idea to do the Miley Cyrus cover and release a bunch of singles. Um, yeah, so it's just it is
No,
what it is, I guess.
yeah, exactly. Let's move on because yeah, I mean it saddens me as well
Yeah.
because rock. I don't know. I never thought it would really miss it that much, but I try also to promote uh, my local scene here, and whenever I had a chance, I go to it. Even if I'm not so much into some of the bands, just to be there and show support and stuff. And now, oh, now nothing. Anyway, so let's move on. I have a really silly question, and I told you before that. I try to avoid any usual interview questions, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. Sierra Pilot. Where does this name derive from?
Yeah. So, um, when I was younger, me and my dad would take hiking trips to the Sierra Nevadas in California. It's my favorite place in the world. So I was born with a condition called tracheoesophageal fistula.
Ah, okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
That one. Uh,
Yeah, I heard it just now.
but anyway, so um, my trachea and my anyway, I'm all screwed up in my insides, right?
Hmm.
And then during the
But
operation, they actually mixed
trachea
my
is
lungs to the
the
lungs,
okay, yeah.
or maybe it's the stomach,
No, trachea is
and then there's the
the pipes, the windpipes kind of thing, right?
air,
The air, yeah.
air.
Hmm.
So I had my the one that was supposed to connect to my stomach was connected to my lungs, and then my esophagus was formed in a pocket.
You're messed up.
So when I was born, I couldn't breathe, right? And so all my life I had life-threatening asthma.
Hmm.
And then I'd go to the mountains with my dad, and that because of the dry air, and usually when you're at high elevation, it's almost harder to breathe. But I found myself being able to breathe easier than ever, and it's just absolutely one of my favorite places in the world. So that's where Sierra comes from.
Hmm.
And then I just played around with a bunch of different words until it sounded good.
I see. I see. Got it. Got it. It
You know,
reminded me a little bit. Also,
at least
I was
that's me.
I was almost thinking that, but of course I didn't know. Because I guess you know the Stone Temple Pilots, and we just played around with
Yes.
STP and found Stone Temple Pilots. It has absolutely no meaning. It was just STP. And we wanted to find something for it. So I was like, pilot. Where does it come from? Okay. So I'm actually through with my one thing I just wanted to mention. I lived for 2 years in Montreal, and I really love Canada. And so Montreal is of course something special, as you will know. It's Quebec. It's not normal Canada, and I know there's
Well,
some.
it's a little piece of Europe.
Pardon me?
Montreal is a little piece of Europe here. You go to Montreal, it feels more European than it does North American,
Yeah, yeah. You could. I
which is
live.
a great
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, and I just loved this city, because it's so multicultural, and I just it has such a welcoming atmosphere. I really was man, I honestly, I mean, we're not talking about me, but I tried to become a Canadian citizen, and I would have almost started the process, but then I got a job offer from Amsterdam. When I moved to the Netherlands after I was living for 2 years in Canada, and that's why I didn't stay there. But I loved it. It was man, if you would ever ask me if I need to go somewhere, I would go there in a heartbeat. That's I love Canada. So anyway, just wanted to mention that I'm I'm with you.
It's a great country.
Hmm.
I love the fact that
Hmm.
I am from.
Yep, yep, and I mean, I'm a German, and Germany is okay as well. But once you're a little bit out of a country and you kind of compare countries, and I lived in a few different ones. Yeah, Canada is a great country.
I've
Really, I
heard the
love it.
Netherlands is incredible too. I've always wanted to go to Amsterdam.
Hmm. Yeah, but what I don't like, I mean, okay,
Careful, this is going on
Canada
the.
Canada was so fun for me as well because I'm a German in Canada. That's so I'm a little bit special there. If I'm
Yeah.
a German in the Netherlands, I'm just like, oh yeah, you're just a
Oh,
German in the
there's
Netherlands. You're nothing special there. So it's fine, it's cool, but it's also quite overrun by people. There's so many people want to go there, and it's such a small country and a lot of people, and I love it. It's nice and. Um, one of my roommates I had where he just moved there because you can smoke pot and back then you still could get mushrooms and all this stuff and legally, and so it's how
Can
is
you
the
not do that anymore? Is that illegal?
pot is still legal, but mushrooms are not legal anymore, as far as I know. I
Are they
never took them, so I
are they
don't know.
still criminalized?
I don't think they are criminalized, but they're just not easy to. I mean, there is no, with marijuana there is this medical benefit, but with mushrooms there is not really a medical benefit. So they are discontinued. They are not allowed anymore. So I never took them, so I don't miss out so much. I'm not a rock star, um, but yeah.
Well, I've never really done mushrooms either, but it's
Hmm.
I do microdose them. It's on its way to being. So it's decriminalized here. You don't get charged. It's legal in Vancouver
Hmm.
or in British Columbia, and Ontario is coming up now. But as I mentioned, I'm ADHD,
Hmm.
so I microdose mushrooms instead of taking those really crappy Ritalin or Adderall. Like that stuff's so bad for you, right? So, and I've noticed that in small doses, mushrooms is great. In large doses,
Hmm.
no, no, no.
Hmm.
They
Hmm.
scare the crap out of me.
Yeah, sorry, I have I have no I have no real experience here. So also not with Mariana. Anyway, so thank you very much for your time. Um, so the next big thing is you're working on your album, and hopefully in summertime. I mean, even I don't know how it is in Ontario, but here in Germany, it was in summertime. There were even some festivals allowed, and with certain precautions and with a certain distance between the people and stuff. But there were things going on, and I hope that it's the same in Ontario. When in summertime, it will be easier. People can go outside, and you can have like a live concert, even in this difficult times.
Well, we had live festivals last year, um, but outdoor, obviously, and
Hmm.
I think it went okay. But we really like the scene really needs to get the numbers back because
Hmm.
there was very limited amount of numbers in the field, right? And it's yeah, I think the music industry is definitely going to survive, but a lot of people are suffering right now, um,
Hmm.
especially the people who put on shows.
Hmm.
Artists have other forms of income, but that was their career, right? So the sound guys, the security at venues, those guys, they're I'm sure they're hurting right now. And there's actually a bunch of fundraisers happening, going into helping these guys be able to keep their jobs. And
Hmm.
when everything gets back to normal, um, it'll help them, you know. So yeah, it's just a weird thing. Hopefully by end of summer, early fall.
Yeah, I hope so too. Anyway, do you have some positive closing thoughts for the audience? So that we end on a high note.
Going on a high note, okay. Um, well, yeah. So the album's coming out in. I don't have a date yet, but it's
Hmm.
there's a bunch of new songs on it. I'm absolutely thrilled with it. I'm so excited to drop it.
Hmm.
Um, you know,
Some more videos,
that's
some
about
some
it.
videos or something.
Uh, yeah, we're trying to decide for which song right now. It'll likely be for one of the singles that are already out.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, we're still playing around with that idea. Of course, there's going to be more videos. It's just hard to shoot anything right now,
Mm.
you know. So there would definitely be videos. Yeah, I think there's things are starting to look up, and I think that I think 2021 is going to be a good year
I hope so too. I
this
mean,
year.
it can after all, I mean, if you want to close with that, it can only get better. I mean, if you're if you're down, you can only look up basically. So I really
Nowhere to,
hope that.
nowhere to go,
Pardon me.
nowhere to go but up.
Exactly. Let's end on this. Nowhere to go but up, man. It's just the mountain. Okay. Thank you very much for your time. Um,
Thank you.
I wish you all the best, and please get in touch with me when the album drops, because then I can put you in my playlist and put you in my radio show, and it's a small playlist and a small radio show, but I think everything helps a little bit, and then it would be really cool to get you over here to Germany, and yeah, and I hope. Okay, no, let's stay positive. We will get you over to Germany, and then there will be Stadium Rock with Sierra Pilot. Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.